There is a specific moment I remember. I was sitting in my apartment. It was a Tuesday evening. I had eaten dinner alone, watched television alone, and I was about to go to sleep alone. And it suddenly hit me not as a sad thought, but as a physical sensation that if I did not wake up the next morning, it would probably be 2 or 3 days before anyone noticed. I was 71 years old, and I was completely invisible. My name is Victor. I am 81 years old. I was a structural engineer for most of my career. Never married, no children. I made that choice consciously in my 30s. I valued my independence, my work, my freedom. I do not regret those choices, but I did not understand what they would cost me later. I did not understand that independence, taken far enough and long enough, becomes something else entirely. It becomes isolation. And isolation, real isolation, is one of the most dangerous things a human being can experience. I know because I lived it for almost a decade, and I want to tell you how I got out. Because the way out surprised me completely. You might not think this applies to you. You have family, you have colleagues, you have people around you. But I want to ask you something more specific. Do you have someone you can call at 10 o'clock at night when something is wrong? Not to solve a problem, just to hear a voice that knows you? Do you have someone who would notice immediately, not in 2 or 3 days, but immediately if you disappeared? Do you have a place where you are known, where people expect to see you, where your absence would be felt, where you are not just a face, but an actual presence in someone else's life? If those questions are harder to answer than you expected, pay attention to that. Because loneliness is not always loud. It does not always announce itself. It creeps in slowly, disguised as introversion, as self-sufficiency, as being fine. Until one Tuesday evening, you feel it as a physical weight. The year I turned 70 was the year I finally admitted to myself that I was lonely. Not sad, not depressed exactly. Just empty in a specific way, like a building that has all the right rooms, but nobody in any of them. I had tried the obvious things. I had tried dating briefly and unsuccessfully. I had tried filling the time with more work, with travel, with books. All of it helped. None of it fixed it. Because here is what I did not understand at 70, that I understand now. Loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the absence of being known. You can be surrounded by people and deeply lonely if none of them really see you. And you can be technically alone and feel completely connected if there is somewhere in the world where you genuinely belong. What changed everything for me was not finding a person. It was finding a place. A community woodworking shop in my neighborhood. I walked in on a Thursday afternoon mostly because I had nothing else to do, and I had always been vaguely curious about woodworking. The first day I went, a man named Sal showed me how to use a lathe without losing my fingers. He was 74 years old, completely irreverent, and funnier than anyone I had met in years. We argued about the correct way to do something within about 20 minutes of meeting each other. I went back the following Thursday, and the Thursday after that. 3 years later, I have a group of people I see every week. People who know my name. People who would notice if I did not show up. People who disagree with me and tease me and ask my opinion on things. It is not dramatic. It is not the deep soul-level intimacy of a decades-long friendship. But it is real. It is consistent. And it saved something in me that was quietly dying. Here is what I learned about loneliness that I want you to carry with you. Connection does not require perfect circumstances. It does not require you to find the right person, to have the right history, to meet someone who already knows you. It requires you to show up somewhere, consistently, over time. That is it. That is the whole secret. Humans are not built to connect instantly. We are built to connect through repetition, through seeing the same face week after week, through the slow accumulation of small interactions that eventually add up to something that feels like belonging. Most lonely people are waiting for a connection that feels immediate and significant. And while they are waiting, they are passing up the ordinary, unremarkable, apparently small interactions that are actually how belonging is built. You do not find your people. You show up somewhere repeatedly until they become your people. That is how it works. That is how it has always worked. The woodworking shop was not special. Sal was not immediately my person. But I went back, week after week, and something grew. Something that, at 81 years old, I can honestly say changed the last decade of my life. I want you to find your Thursday, not a dating app, not a networking event. Something that involves showing up in the same physical place with the same group of people on a regular basis. A class, a club, a volunteer organization, a sports team, a religious community, a workshop, a running group, anything. The content matters less than you think. What matters is the regularity, the showing up, the being in a room with people who expect to see you. Pick something that interests you even slightly and commit to going for 6 weeks, not 1 week to see if you like it. 6 weeks. Because belonging does not happen on week 1. It barely happens on week 3. But somewhere around week 5 or 6, something shifts. You start to become a familiar face. People start to save you a seat. That is where it begins. Go find your Thursday. Tell me in the comments. Is there somewhere you have been meaning to try? Something you have looked up but never quite gone to? Tell me what it is, and then go sign up. Today, before the feeling passes.